After a thrilling FNCS Major 1 with two of the closest finishes we've ever seen, it's time to look ahead to this season. Here are some top teams that you need to keep an eye on going into Major 2. Firstly, the winners of Major 1, it's Viko, Veno, and Flexie. Since coming together, the experience of Veno combined with the fragging power of Viko and Flexie has been incredible to watch, and their dominating performance throughout all of last season was a spectacle that we could all enjoy. Then being able to continue that form into the Major 1 finals and book their spot in Globals shows just how good this team is, even under the pressure of a Major Finals. Despite things looking a little bit more rocky for them in the divisional finals this season, and by their own admission finding things a little bit more difficult to adapt to, their impressive win in Week 3 shows they're capable of overcoming any challenges thrown their way. While they've mostly been landing at Lone Wolf Lair and Crime City this season, it now looks as though they're going to be angling towards the Big Bend and Splitting Pin split drop at the bottom of the map. With that being said, this team are able to find success no matter where they land, and everything seems to be clicking into place, at the point in the season where it really matters. Last season, Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache were one of the most exciting teams to watch, with their simple strategy coined by Queasy at Globals: take height, don't get eliminated. And it worked. A standout performer across the whole of that Major 1 finals was Mustache, putting up incredible numbers and being the perfect complement to Swizzy's equally impressive fragging power. They also etched their names firmly into the buildings of Seaport City with a dominating performance off spawn, meaning there's no way they'd be leaving for this season. In terms of performances, the season started out in the best possible way for this team, by winning the first two divisional cups of the season, a run that had many calling them the team to beat. And while the back end of the season's divisional cups haven't quite been as successful for them, the experience and talent that all three of these players have means they're still big contenders heading into Major 2. Finally, for EU, let's take a look at a brand new trio formed midway through this season. It's ThomasHD, Hanza, and Uppel. This team brings together three very different storylines from Major 1, including the EU legend himself, ThomasHD, having a very difficult season, not making the Major 1 finals at the end of it all. Hanza was the star performer in his trio with FNCS veterans Mongrel and Mr. Savage, helping that team place 8th overall and skyrocketing his recognition within the community. Then there's Uppel, who was another unexpected standout player in last season's Major 1 finals with Fincheck and Cantry. That trio managed a 6th place overall in finals, however split for this season. That paved the way for this new lineup to come together in Week 3. And so far, very much so good for this trio, who have managed a 6th, 3rd, and a 5th in their 3 weeks together. And in all 3 of those weeks, Thomas managed the most hits to players and headshots, and even topped the charts in damage dealt in weeks 4 and 5. This just goes to show how, despite a rough start to the year, he's still one of EU's best. Keep an eye out for this trio landing at Rolling Blossoms Farm, because lately they really have been blossoming in every way. It's safe to say that the trio situation in NA Central has been somewhat chaotic since Major 1, so let's break down a few of the confirmed teams that we'll be seeing compete this season. The most talked about player in competitive Fortnite, Peterbot, returns for this season, after a slightly surprising 2nd place last season, especially given how his teams are always the favourites to win. While he's played with Cold throughout the whole season, the 3rd player has seen some change. At the start of the season, the duo picked up Puyo, and the results came through immediately, going on a run of 3 weeks at the top of the Divisional Cup weekly finals, and often winning by over 150 points. But then, an update to the rules meant that Puyo had to return to his original trio, and Ritual joined forces again with Cold and Peterbot. This switch-up didn't stop their momentum though, and they ended up winning Week 4 by over 200 points. A 2nd place in Week 5 meant that they couldn't complete the perfect season, but with how well this team are playing so far, expect them to be favourites to take home the NA title yet again. So far, this team have claimed Crime City as their drop spot, despite a short but successful stint at Lone Wolf Lair. Wherever they land, look out for this trio who'll be looking to top the leaderboards and live up to the highest of expectations. If Peterbot's trio look unstoppable, the big question is, who's going to stop them? Well, fan favorite trio Higs and Eomzo teaming up with Fortnite icon Clix might just have what it takes to stand in their way. This trio returns after competing together last season and achieved a 3rd place in the Major 1 finals, breaking Clix's infamous 4th place curse. It was a statement season for Eomzo too, who really struggled to find his feet during much of Chapter 5, but he's proved why he's still one of NA's best. And as for Higs, formerly known as Batman Booger, he continues to rise through the ranks, solidifying himself as a top-tier competitor as well. In this season's Div Cup finals, the trio have been nothing short of consistent, running their low-ground playstyle out of a mostly uncontested lone wolf lair. They haven't placed outside of the top 4 across all 5 divisional cup finals. That includes a huge 1st place in Week 5, making them the team to end Peterbot and Cold's perfect run, a streak that had lasted since December 2024. With momentum on their side and form heading into play-ins, groups and finals more important than ever, this trio might just be peaking at exactly the right moment. Finally, it's our Major 1 champions, Aegis, Acorn and Puyo. This is a team that took a lot of people in the community by surprise with just how well they performed last season, even though this is one of the most experienced and talented teams in the region. Their golden game plan last season was based on solid positioning from Acorn's IGLing ability at all stages of the game, combined with the next level fragging power of Aegis and Puyo, which helped propel them through the endgame. This season, the trio shuffles were also affecting this team, as of course Puyo went over to Peterbot, leaving Ritual to join forces with Aegis and Acorn for the 1st half of the season. Their performances were solid, however now that Puyo is back with the squad, things can be a little bit more consistent for them. In the 2 weeks that this team have played together again, they've been able to get a 2nd and a 3rd, and even getting 2 wins out of 4 games in a recent performance evaluation cup. This team seemed to have all of the ingredients for success, as the experience of all 3 allowed them to play in different ways at all stages of the game, allowing them to be adaptable to whatever is thrown their way. Throughout this season, look out for them landing at Masked Meadows, looking to take control of the vault and spend their hard-earned dill bits at the black market. With so many teams still fighting for a spot at the Global Championships and looking for FNCS glory, this season is guaranteed to be a banger. Don't miss the start of FNCS Major 2, kicking off this week.